Hey guys, this is Dr. Steve with Alexander Spine Center in beautiful Johns Creek, Georgia. What I wanted to talk about today was questions I commonly get regarding workstations. Now, I said this before in another video, but roughly 90% of everyone that I see as patients has a job where they sit all day. I've been doing this 18 years, and when I first started, I would say that 75% of everybody I used to see had a job where they stood and worked. Now everybody seems to have a sitting job, and that's just kind of a sign of the times that we're in. So computer ergonomics is really important in terms of how it affects your spine and how it affects things like neck and shoulder pain and even lower back pain. So I wanted to go over a couple of the basics today if we could. For starters, ergonomics means the science of how to keep your spine straight while you're working. That's pretty simple. In regards to when you're sitting working at a computer, there's a couple of key things that you want to keep in mind, and especially in regards to how it relates to the keyboard and the mouse and the monitor. So for starters, when you come up to your desk, you really want your leg and your thigh to be at about a 90-degree angle, and you want your thigh and your torso to be about a 90-degree angle. You want to have a chair that allows your elbows to rest on some armrests so that you're not holding your arms up here, or that you're working with your mouse out here, because the more that you have to hold your arms up here, the more you're going to suffer from neck and shoulder strain. That gets worse as the day goes on. So in general, you kind of want to be in this setup. Now, when you're looking at your monitor, you want the monitor to be roughly, the top of the monitor to be roughly about level to your eyebrows, okay? And you want it roughly between 19 and 24 inches away, okay? You can tilt your monitor down, or you can tilt your monitor up, just whatever gets you less glare, okay? You want to not have to reach for your keyboard. So having your keyboard here would not be great. Even if you rested your elbows, you're still hunching and rounding your shoulders forward, which is going to create tension here, and even tension here. So you're going to keep your keyboard really close to where you can reach it. Now, you'll notice in this scenario, this desk is just a little bit too high for this to be a super proper ergonomic setup. But I can still reach my mouse easily right here, and without much strain, I can still reach this without too much strain. Thankfully, I don't have a job where I sit for 8 to 10 hours a day at the computer, but there is a really simple solution for this. Let's talk about that next. Okay, so like I said, on the other desk there, I'm a little bit reaching up here for my keyboard and for my mouse. So a drop-down tray gives you a nice option. It goes underneath the desk, and you can pull it out, and now you can be ideally working with your keyboard and your mouse. Now you'll notice again in this case, it's a little high, so I'm just going to adjust my chair down, and now all of a sudden I've got a really good working angle. Monitor's where it should be. I could probably tilt it this way towards me just a little bit to help. But my mouse is here, my keyboard's here. I'm not reaching, and I'm not straining. And I'm doing things that avoid me rounding my shoulders forward or letting my head come like this. The most common mistakes I see these days in people that have to work a lot on computers are especially people that work with laptops, because the monitor's down here and the keyboard's connected to the monitor, and they're working a lot like this, and their head is craned down, their arms are craned up. This is usually a recipe for tight neck muscles, strained muscles of the shoulder and the back of the neck as well. So if possible, I always recommend getting a cordless keyboard, cordless mouse. It just plugs right into the one of the USB ports on the laptop, and now all of a sudden you can move your laptop monitor up or down to where it needs to be, and you can have a keyboard that you can rest in your lap and work with if needs be. Just something to get those laptops and tablets more ergonomic is fantastic. One of the things that is really started to be in vogue, and I get asked about all the time, are standing workstations. So let's talk about that next. So one of the things that has become pretty in vogue in the corporate world these days is, and I get asked about this all the time, is standing desks, okay? And I like standing desks, but only if you don't have to work at them all day. I have a standing desk. Really what it is just a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse on a table that happens to be a really good height for me when I'm standing, and a monitor that's on the wall, and it's all slaved to my other computer. It's a pretty good sort of compromise. It's not exactly what they're doing these days, but I think it's good enough for the purposes of this video. So once again, you want to be standing and you want to be bearing weight on both feet. I think this kind of goes without saying, but very often what I see is people working at monitors like this, or like, you know, this, or, you know, all the same problems that you're going to have with people sitting incorrectly. So when you're standing, you pretty much want your weight centered, you know, feet shoulder width, and you want to be here working. Once again, you kind of want the top of the monitor to be, you know, level to your eyebrows. This is just a little high for me, but I would rather miss high than miss low and be looking down like this, because you can see my whole torso changes to this at that point, as opposed to staying upright and being able to look directly at it. So from here, I have a mouse, I have a keyboard, I'm not straining, I'm not reaching, I'm not gonna get that shoulder fatigue, I'm not gonna get that neck fatigue. Now, there are a couple things that you should know. I mean, if you have to sit all day at a desk, the best thing you can do, the single best ergonomic tip that I can give you, is to get up once an hour, okay? For every 60 minutes that you're sitting, you want to stand up and deload your spine, okay? Or put load on it, rather, for about 2 to 3 minutes. You just gotta get up and move around. And similarly, if you're standing all day, if you're standing for an hour at a computer station, you gotta take a seat, okay? There's really no ergonomic perfection that you can do that can overcome the stress of having to sit for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, okay? It's gonna take a toll, which is why things like learning certain stretches, learning certain exercises are so crucial to sort of maintaining a good posture so that you have less aches and pains at the end of your day, okay? Common things that we see due to poor ergonomics are gonna be, you know, neck doesn't move as much because, you know, they're always here. You're gonna see pain in the upper back, you're gonna see poor posture, you're gonna see a lot of shoulder pain, particularly on the side that they use for the mouse. Sometimes you see people answer phones that, you know, they do this while they're on the computer or like this. That's going to lead to some neck and shoulder tightness. There are loads of things that can be corrected just by doing it properly at your desk. But the single best thing you can do, no matter what your ergonomic situation is at work, is to get up and move around frequently. We just weren't meant to sit 8 to 10 hours a day. We're also not really meant to stand 8 to 10 hours a day, so you have to take some breaks, okay? So guys, clean it up at work there, do a good job. Hope you enjoyed watching. Please leave your comments and let us know what you thought, and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover later on. Thanks, take care.